Hello everyone, Jolene here from Bookworm Adventure Girl. Welcome back. I hope that you are all well. And if you are new, thanks so much for checking out my channel. Please hit subscribe and stick around. Today I am going to share all of the books that I hauled in November. Last month's haul was huge. There was about 30 books, and I'm trying to be the keyword here, to not purchase too many books. So this haul will be much smaller. I have 7 books to talk about this month, and I'm very fortunate that I receive books from publishers. So as usual, I'm going to start there. And first is a memoir from ECW Press called Same Ground. And this is from Canadian writer Russell Wangersky. And this has a lot of things about it that I really like. Themes of family, travel, and adventure. And the author's great-great-grandfather, at the age of 22, had crossed the continent in 1849 in search of gold. And the diary he wrote about this time has been acquired by his grandson 160 years later. And he decides to follow his footsteps in search of something of his own. And my hope is that this will be as good as it has potential to be. If I enjoy it, I will definitely be picking up more books by this author. I saw that he has several, and some of them sound very interesting to me. Next up is another travel adventure. I received this from ZG Stories and UBC Press, and it's called In the Name of Wild. This is by Canadians Phillip and April Vannini with Autumn Vannini. And this is a story of a family who travels to 5 continents, 10 countries, and 20 natural world heritage sites over 5 years. And their goal was to learn what wildness means to people around the world. So this is intriguing. It kind of reminds me of when I did 40 Adventures at 40. I learned very quickly that adventure means something different to different people. And I'm sure the same thing will be true with what wild means to different people in different cultures and backgrounds. This month's Republic of Consciousness book is My Mind to Me a Kingdom Is, and this is by Paul Stanbridge. This is a follow-up novel to Paul Stanbridge's Forbidden Line, which is one that I will have to pick up. I'm not sure if you need to read that one before reading this one, but I think I'd like to do it that way. This one is a blend of fiction and memoir. It has themes of grief, love, and loss, and it is a tribute to the author's brother who took his own life in 2015. So this sounds like it could be a very powerful novel. Next up is a book that's been on my radar for many years, decades really, and it's one that I considered reading for nonfiction November, but I ran out of time, and that is And the Band Played On by Randy Shilts. This is considered to be a modern classic. If you are old enough to remember the 80s, then you will remember the AIDS epidemic and how people were treated, the many myths and misunderstandings that existed at the time. It was a time when people were diagnosed with AIDS, and that was really a death sentence for them. And I followed many people's stories, and I'm hoping to finally read this book, which is really, I think, a foundational document, and this is the 20th anniversary edition, which was published in 2007. Next is a book that I have been curious about for a while, and that is Hana Carries On by Uzma Jalaluddin. And I have the author's debut novel, and I haven't read it yet either, so I really need to get to these. The debut novel is a retelling of Pride and Prejudice, and Hana Carries On sounds like a retelling of You've Got Mail. This time, instead of a bookstore, it's a halal restaurant. So I'm hoping that this will just be a fun, feel-good kind of read. Like the last book, this is the second book that I have picked up by this author, and I haven't read the first one that I have either. And this is Once Upon a Wardrobe by Patti Callahan. And this is about the early life of C.S. Lewis, the author of the Chronicles of Narnia. And I also have Becoming Mrs. Lewis, which is about C.S. Lewis's wife, Joy. And I really want to read both of these. I'm hoping that I will learn a lot about C.S. Lewis and that there will be kind of a whimsicalness or whimsical vibe to the way that this story is told. The final book on my list is also about an author, and this is Mr. Dickens and His Carol by Samantha Silva. This is a historical fiction novel that tells the story of how Charles Dickens is potentially going to lose everything when he ends up writing A Christmas Carol. And I actually haven't read A Christmas Carol yet either, so although I've seen different movies and I know the story, maybe during the holiday season I will get a chance to maybe read one or both of the stories. So those are the books that I hauled in November. Please let me know if you have read any of these or if you are interested in reading any of them. Are there any that you think I should prioritize? And then what about you? What are some books that you hauled in November that you are really excited about or that you would recommend if you've already read it? I look forward to chatting with you in the comments. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and don't forget to make every day an adventure.